Продолжаем проходить Торвордс. Бесполезно? Ладно. Я хочу своровать. Я не хотела воровать. Просили своровать. Хотела поучаствовать в конкурсе. Но мне никто не дал права на это. И как я достану эту хрень? Видишь? Почти писька найду.
Their mistake.
Я не хотела податься с роботом. Он меня еще не нашел? Блин, они нашли меня. Куда пошел? Я ничего не видел, никто ничего не знает. А они... Ой, тут кто-то мертвый? Чё? Завершено запланированные ежегодные работы по уборке мусора и ремонту хранилища Максрей. На пол нанесен воск с запахом хвои. Проведена оценка зоны в соответствии с эстетическими стандартами Византии. Смотрите нормы коллегии Алкиона Холдингс по оценке эстетики помещения. Раздел 33F. Перемещен мусор. Установлены противодиссидентские автоматоны для поддержания культурной и нравственной гигиены. 4А. Примечание. Порча изменений для отключения высоконравственных автоматонов строго запрещена в соответствии с законом коллегии. Доставлены освежающие конфеты. Ветку тоже забрала. Ладно. М, Вот оно что.
If they didn't want to tempt us, why'd they lock it up?
Я не знаю даже, зачем ее сломала, мне до хера нахрена все.
Can't keep us out.
Видите, тут, что ли?
You know, stealing from these assholes is its own reward.
Или я рада, что тебе это понравилось.
I'll be sure to raise a glass of Rizzo's Spectrum Violet for your timely assistance.
И никто, вообще никто не заметил, что украсть трофей.
You'd only be letting them into Byzantium temporarily. Long enough for the Canids to sniff them out and chase them around.
It's the principle of the matter. Everything belongs in its appropriate place, and laborers do not belong in Byzantium.
I just think you're being rather narrow-minded. A common laborer might enjoy the chance to see Byzantium. Granted, they'd be seeing Byzantium while running for their lives with Canids at their heels.
Bring the idea up in committee if you're so adamant. I just don't think they belong here.
You know, the careers of 9 out of 13 actors end after their debut serial. Enjoy the fame while it lasts.
Сегодня ваш день, Кларенс. Я нашла трофеи.
My trophy! Look at this thing! Have you ever seen a more garish monument to the boredom of the elite? If only Grandfather Mostly were alive today, I would have loved to wave this trophy right in front of his cataracts. I hope you won't take it personally when I say I had my doubts about you. Nothing ever gets done in Byzantium, you see. Competent work is, well, a statistical anomaly.
Я свою часть... Так, имена и места жительства Кларенс. Время поджимает. Я свою часть делать выполнена. Я ожидаю, что вы выполните свое.
Lifting the emergency lockdown requires overrides from the Chem Lab and Human Inquiry. Access to those facilities requires authorizations from 2 senior-level researchers. Marion Blakesley, Jasper Lowe. They went into hiding after the project collapsed, but I've managed to calculate their last known whereabouts within a reasonable margin of error.
Вы провели статистический анализ, чтобы установить их местоположение. Покажите мне свои расчеты. Опа. Ну-ка.
I see you're familiar with my technique. I'd love to show you my numbers, but there aren't nearly enough napkins in this room. After the project shut down, I had to keep my mind occupied. I worked on my actuarial tables, calculated the average lifespan of a Spacer's Choice worker, that sort of thing. I realized some of the researchers had to be alive. I ran some numbers, did a little research, and concluded that the 2 most likely survivors are Marion Blakesley and Jasper Lowe.
Тоже не смогли отпустить проект Гаргона. Так.
Nonsense. I just needed a good old-fashioned statistical problem to busy my mind. Keeps the faculties lubricated.
Вы говорите, что оставили прошлое позади, но вы до сих пор чувствуете ответственность за происшедшее.
Let me stop you there. I don't accept anything for free. And if you're going to analyze me, I'd have to go through the trouble of hiring you on contract. Think what you will of my intentions, my calculations are sound. You'll find Marion Blakesley and Jasper Lowe at the enclosed locations.
Будет осталось только 2 исследователя.
As far as I know, Jasper Lowe and Marion Blakesley are the only 2 surviving researchers with high-level clearance. If you want to lift the lockdown on the manufactory, you'll need to send an override from the Chem Lab and Human Inquiry. I'm afraid it's the only way.
Нужно 2 программы, чтобы снять одну блокировку. Почему в этой колонии все так сложно?
I know it feels like you're being led on. What is that colorful metaphor commoners use? A wild sprat chase? Remember, this is Spacer's Choice we're talking about. Their security protocols are just as inefficient and frustrating as their manufacturing.
Ладно, у меня есть несколько вопросов об исследованиях.
I'll tell you what I can.
Что мне нужно знать о Марианна
Dr.
Блейксли?
Marion Blakesley supervised the Human Inquiry and Auditing Facility. Live subjects, measuring tape and syringes, that sort of thing. Someone sabotaged the facility. Blakesley tendered her resignation and vanished. I'm reasonably certain she's hiding in a maintenance bay on Groundbreaker.
Вы уверены, что это была диверсия?
Well, with Spacer's Choice equipment, who even knows? Dr. Blakesley tendered her resignation lawfully, but under suspicious circumstances. If you want to know more, you'd best ask her yourself.
Вы предлагаете положиться на вашу интуицию?
I'm asking you to trust in the predictive power of data. Dr. Blakesley may have disappeared after that sabotage incident, but the trajectory of her life was implied in her permanent record.
Насчет Джаспера Лоу.
Dr. Lowe described himself as a dazzling genius in his review. I disagreed. Of the 19 criteria that constitute the rubric of genius, Dr. Lowe only met 15. After the project shut down, corporate traded him off to Anti-Cleo in exchange for 5 lab coats. He's been transferred to an orbital lab around Olympus.
Похоже, вы не слишком... Ох, наверное, это были очень умные шприцы. Похоже, вы не слишком высокого мнения об этом Джаспере Лоу.
Our office gave Dr. Lowe and his team every opportunity to develop a drug under perfectly reasonable guidelines and generous deadlines. Dr. Lowe failed to meet our requests and largely succeeded in using our supply of drugs to get himself higher than the mortality rate of a line worker at a Saltuna cannery.
Вы кое-что прояснись.
Certainly. What's on your mind?
Что вы можете рассказать про проект Гаргона?
Let's try to keep it down, shall we? At least pretend we're being discreet? There's not a lot about Project Gorgon I can tell you. I know that's not what you wanted to hear, but I closed that chapter in my life. I've moved on.
Мне не нужны неприятности, мне нужна только информация.
Look, don't tell anyone I said this. But if there's anything I've learned by living in Byzantium, it's this. If you go looking for the truth, you are looking for trouble. All right. Ask your questions. And then if you don't mind, don't mention Project Gorgon anywhere near me again.
Я подумаю. Он что, не говорит имя Амброуз? Имя Мини Амброуз.
Minnie Ambrose. Oh, Olivia's brat. Ambitious, but like the rest of her family, irrelevant. She tried following her mother's example, failed, and if she ever tried again, I couldn't tell you. The name Ambrose doesn't mean anything to me anymore, or to anyone halfway respectable. The Ambroses are, how do I put this politely, obsolete?
Что произошло?
A family's name is only as strong as its enterprise. The Musgraves have Rizzos, and the Schuyler's have Anti-Cleo, and so we show those names the respect they deserve. The Ambrose name was associated with Project Gorgon. The project died, and so the Ambrose name died with it. That's just the way the game is played.
Зачем проекту Гаргона понадобился актуарий?
Project Gorgon was designed to change the life of every worker on Halcyon. We weren't just building a product, we were trying to build a society. How many workers call Halcyon their home? What do they eat and when? How long do they sleep? How hard do they work? What are their most productive years? When do their organs begin to fail? That's the nature of my work. I study human life in order to determine its value. Jewelers appraise diamonds, and I appraise people.
Жизнь человека нельзя представить в виде уравнения. Это лишь живые люди, а не цифры.
Of course you can. You can break the entire universe down into numbers and statistics. Human beings are as much a part of the universe as weather patterns and orbital mechanics.
Вы ведь не просто так покинули Гаргону. Что же произошло?
It's complicated. I'll be honest, I didn't join Project Gorgon because I wanted to satisfy my intellectual curiosity. I was courting the daughter of a Spacer's Choice family. We were a mathematically congruent match, you see. I had the proofs all written out and everything.
Что пошло не так?
Everything. Every project has a margin of failure. We expect setbacks, complications, delays. Project Gorgon experienced a cascade failure. One mistake precipitated another, and another, and another. The labs failed to develop a safe drug. Human Inquiry failed to perform their tests responsibly. An unsafe drug tested on unhealthy subjects by irresponsible supervisors. That's Project Gorgon.
У вас тоже рыльце в Кларенса. Вы были частью проекта Гаргона. Значит, проект развалился, а ваши испытуемые стали мародерами. Стал числиться погибшим или пропавшим без вести. Вы единственный носите маячок.
Anarchy is not a crime. It is a symptom. The undisciplined workplace secretes anarchy the way our glands secrete enzymes. It's a principle of science. Sabotage came first. The chem lab, human inquiry, even my own office. Sabotage broke the discipline of our workplace, leading to confusion, leading to escaped subjects, leading to anarchy.
Стал числиться погибшим или пропавшим без вести. Вы единственный носите
No
маячок.
one appreciates the value of good data. The holistic surveillance device I wear is an invaluable tool, gathering data on all my day-to-day activities. My former colleagues can go into hiding and live in ignorance for all I care. I prefer the self-examined life.
У вас тоже рыльце в школу Кларенса. Вы были частью проекта Гаргона.
I know. Project Gorgon was a failure of leadership. Leadership to which I belonged. I should have pushed for stricter supervision. We gave the other departments too much freedom and not enough oversight. Spare the rod, spoil the servant.
Больше вопросов нет. Спасибо, что уделили мне время.
Never.
Блин, я поняла. Поняла. Ладно. Так.
What's the hurry, right?
Можно еще раз? Женщина, можешь сделать так еще раз? Пожалуйста. Я хочу это зафоткать. Так, ладно. Ладно. Ребята, кубка уже нет.
Thank you for participating in our confidentiality agreement. What can I do for you?
Ну,
There's nothing to see here. Move along.
Chasing us off already? This feels familiar.
Ma'am, please don't cause a scene. Do you have any actual...
так, ладно. Еще вот. Это дальше.
I've always loved that sculpture.
Тут
Everything's
еще
so
не
fun.
You, with the hips. Over here. Let me take a closer look at you.
Don't speak. Hold that posture for a moment while I admire you. You have a natural contrapposto, my dear. The way you rest your weight against your hip suggests a certain rugged charisma possessed only by the mighty primal and the well-traveled spacer. Splendid. I love it.
Так, все верно, сравнивая харизму, опытные путешественницы поступают во мне. Вот она, самая претензионная фраза дня. Ладно.
Ah, Celeste, you've done it again. I knew from the moment I laid eyes on you that I'd found my muse. I'm Celeste Jolicoeur, and you, my dear, are exactly what Byzantium needs.
То есть мне что-то продать, если тебе нужно, чтобы его забрали. Такое ощущение, что меня читаешь. Тобто, если мне что-то продать,
I'm an artist, darling, not a tweed merchant. I don't sell things. I pollinate the world with art. I'm working on a new line of clothing that will shock this city to its core, and I'd like your help. What do you say, my dear? Care to make history with me?
мы только что познакомились, а ты меня обучаешь, не перебор. Ой.
Everything I need to know can be deduced from a first impression. You're an outsider. You're exotic. You carry a whiff of barbarism and adventure. You're the embodiment of everything I want in my new line.
Что у тебя на уме?
When I look at you, I see the very embodiment of everything the walls of Byzantium were built to keep out. Making an outfit worthy of you won't be easy. I'll need your help gathering the right materials.
Да, я помогу.
Marvelous! You and I are gonna wake this city up like a cold splash of wine to the face. What I need is a survey of the outside world. What does the common laborer wear? How do the wild-eyed madmen of Monarch dress themselves? I've heard rumors, but I require samples. Also, I expect you to model for me.
То есть повод для полюбоваться. Я понимаю, я так модели. А мне-то зачем наряжаться? В чем от этого польза?
My dear, fashion is a performance art. An outfit without a body is like an instrument without a player. I'll need you to model for me the following: the apparel of an iconoclast, the armor of a marauder, and a full ensemble of spacer gear, helmet included. And when I say spacer gear, I mean an outfit worn by real spacers. None of that garbage spacer's choice pedals.
No tall shoes, though. I mean it.
You have the bearing and demeanor of a born model. You're going to absolutely murder this job.
Подождите, расскажите подробнее об этих нарядах.
I expect you'll cut an exquisite figure. What else do you need to know?
Что говорил о наряде Канаборд.
I've heard rumors of these iconoclasts, half-mad zealots rampaging across the surface of Monarch. You'll have to find your own way into Monarch. I can't help you. Even if I could, I prefer not to interfere with your creative process.
Такого интересного в мародерских доспехах.
I don't know. I've never seen a marauder. Not in person, anyway. There are always Aetherwade programs, but I want something authentic. Byzantium is long overdue for a change of wardrobe, my dear. Something barbaric, yet elegant.
Где мне искать снаряжение космика?
If I were an enterprising spacer in need of a wardrobe, I'd probably head to the Groundbreaker.
Смотрю, что можно сделать.
Fabulous! I can't wait to see what you dredge up.
Можно что-нибудь купить? Украсть у них карты. Ладно, ладно, скрытность имеется.
I love Byzantium. Where else are you going to find art, culture, and toilets?
CNP Boris Potter can be microwaved in 2.5 seconds. Boris Potter.
А теперь поехали.
Someone has left a threatening message on your terminal, Captain. I was unable to trace its origin. Please make a note of it. Welcome back, Cap. How can I...
Что там за угроза? Могу страниц. Сообщение. Поезд еще не найден. Диас, какой у вас чудесный корабль, Проныра безнадежный, да? И зарегистрирован он на имя Алекса Хортона, но вы не он. И так ли вы украли у него корабль? Теперь вы намерены украсть у меня Гаргону. Пожалуй, мне тоже стоит украсть у вас что и ценное. Ваш корабль, ваша команда, ваша жизнь — это будет чистый обмен. Я такого в жизни не делала никогда. Вот двигатель как словно он ворчит, как стая кошек, что съела мышонка, норовит, он кашляет, хрипит, но как не бьется засор, что фильтр парализовал, не поддается. О, бедный двигатель, увы. Но тут механик, как акула в цех, летает такая вся темная, яркая вольва, и дрожь охватила распределитель давление, словно от мысли, о, как встретить ее хочу я, о, бедный двигатель, увы. У меня тут набросано еще 5 строк, но с рифмой пока не везде ладится, так что еще напишу. Это я сейчас прочитала. Ладно. Запусти скрин. Ближайший вентилятор скопления. Так, найти идентификатор источника сообщений. Идентификатор источника сообщений. Так, уровень доступа администрации руководителя. Так, ребята, чё вы все вместе там делаете?
Max. Maximilian. Vicar.
As always.
О, да, я...
Welcome back, Cap. How... I request...
Молодец.
The Groundbreaker Auxiliary Base.